later on, fast forward like 10 plus years, podcasting came out. And we not only have the ability to do podcasts, but we also have the ability to do it on a large scale because we have social media to promote our content. You know, we can literally grab our cellular device and we can broadcast on that without a fancy microphone, without fancy headphones. You could just hit the record button and start doing whatever you want to do. Now, I also started streaming on Twitch and I kept telling myself, damn, why am I not growing? So as you could see from the title here, this is about not giving up. Now, I want to talk about a very niche, particular product of not giving up and something that you shouldn't give up and put your primary focus on if you actually want to succeed in whatever it is that you're doing. So what I'm going to be talking about here is streaming. Whether you are a Twitch streamer, whether you're a YouTube streamer, Facebook gaming, whatever the case may be, Instagram, Twitter, we are granted with the opportunity in this day and age to be blessed with the fact that we have the technology and we have the ability to get on the internet and learn how to use that technology to our benefits. So what do I mean by that? Well, I've been kind of at a little bit of a crossroads here when it comes to what it is that I want to do. Ever since I was a kid, I remember I always wanted to do some sort of radio. I spoke with my roommate about it and I told him, hey man, like, wouldn't it be great if we had like our own radio station where we could just like have topics and speak about things that we want to talk about, you know, maybe play some music in the background, whatever the case may be. And later on, that ended up becoming a reality. That's where podcasting came into play. So when it comes to the topic of wanting to do something like a radio show, for example, later on, fast forward like 10 plus years, podcasting came out. And we not only have the ability to do podcasts, but we also have the ability to do it on a large scale because we have social media to promote our content. You know, we can literally grab our cellular device and we can broadcast on that without a fancy microphone, without fancy headphones. You could just hit the record button and start doing whatever you want to do. Now, I also started streaming on Twitch. And I kept telling myself, damn, why am I not growing? What is it about me? Why do I only get like 1 or like 5 viewers every time I get on stream? But yet I've been doing it for years. And some people that have actually been doing it for a longer period of time seem to be more successful. So what am I doing wrong? By the way, before I get any further into this, feel free to please like, comment, share, subscribe, do the damn thing. This is my call to action to all of you. It'll help me grow the channel and it'll help me keep the dream alive because that's really what the topic of what we're talking about here is. We want to keep the dream alive. Now, why wouldn't you? Why would you listen to somebody that tells you, hey, you know what, just get a job, just go to school, don't worry about it, just, you know, be a drone like everybody else. Now, granted, no issue with people that choose to do construction or just have like a regular 9 to 5. We all need people to work in this world. Everyone has a role. Not everybody can sing or dance, nor does everybody want to. But you can't give up on the things that you want to do. You got to stay the course when it gets tough. Now, a lot of people will tell you, oh, you know, just keep streaming for hours and hours and hours. And honestly, I tried that and I'm not a firm believer in that anymore because it's just not a practical nor effective way to utilize the time that you're given. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say, for example, you did a 10-hour stream, right? And you streamed for about like 1 or 2 people. What did you really get out of those 10 hours? Think about it. Ask yourself that. Now, maybe, granted, you might have a couple of very loyal followers that will watch your entire stream until its end. And that's great, but there's not much engagement going on while you're doing that. So what you have to start doing is you have to start diversifying your content. You know, for example, I not only do Twitch streams, but I also do a podcast on my YouTube channel, which is also on my Spotify and iTunes and Podbean. So in all of those different links, you can actually check out more material that I'm doing outside of gaming. I love playing horror games. That's mainly my thing, but I also am a variety streamer. And whenever a new game comes out that I'm interested in, I'm going to play it. With that said, it's not the only way to get attention. I also like talking about life. I like to have podcasts where I speak about things that I'm passionate about. And now, granted, it might not always be the most popular thing. You know, people will always judge you on what it is that you want to do. But you can't really pay attention to that because if you put the primary focus of your life around a few people that don't like what you're doing, you're never going to reach that upper echelon. You're never going to stack those tiny little pebbles of truth until you reach the heights of your dreams because you're allowing others to dictate your level of success. You never want to do that. start diversifying your content. Use the social media platforms available to you. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram. Make something different in each of them. Don't just repost the same content back and forth, because if you have an Instagram, for example, and it's linked to your Facebook and Twitter, and you post the same content back and forth, that might not always be the content that's going to get you the attention that you want, right? Now, granted, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, this guy has like 200 and something subscribers. He doesn't really know what he's talking about. He's still in the game. But am I really? Do I really not know what I'm talking about? Think about that for a second. I'm not going to give up. No matter what happens, I'm going to keep doing it. I've invested time. I've invested money. I've invested resources. I've invested the ability to be able to process information at a high rate towards where I can learn how to do all these things. Because back in 2016, when I started, I didn't know how to do any of this. I didn't know how to set up a webcam. I didn't know how to set up a microphone properly. I didn't know how to do any of these things that I know how to do now. I've learned how to use video editing software, audio editing software. These are all things that were self-taught because I allowed myself the opportunity to tell myself, hey, you know what? I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn how to do this. Now, granted, even if you're at the point where you're doing all these things and you're not seeing any dividends from it, think about the experiences. Think about everything that you've learned. You probably didn't know how to do any of this, but now you do. You looked at tutorials on YouTube that taught you how to do something. Now, there are just channels strictly dedicated to learning how to produce content, and that's great. I have tutorials on my own channel. I have a playlist with tutorials that I've done that honestly get me more views than anything else. My highest viewed video is about 12,000 views, and that's a tutorial on how to utilize a Zoom H5 for your iPhone. That's not even the core of my content. I still was able to provide information that I wasn't seeing readily available on the internet in order for other people to understand and learn the process of how this stuff works. And that's what's important. You got to take the experiences that you're getting out of your life. If you work out 4 or 5 days a week and you're not seeing many gains, you're probably thinking to yourself, damn, like I'm working out all this time, but my chest is still flat, my arms are still flabby. What am I doing? But you're teaching yourself how to endure. You're teaching yourself that even when you're not in the mood, that you still have to get up and do these things, because if you don't, you're never going to see any improvement. People say consistency is key, and that is correct. Start diversifying yourself. You're a channel, you're an entity, you're a human being. And if you don't take that time to learn how to do these things that are gonna, in the long run, give you that success that you want, if you just quit because it gets too hard, then why did you start to begin with? That's another thing. Really ask yourself, why did I start streaming? Why did I start a podcast? Why did I start doing funny videos on TikTok or Instagram? Ask yourself that, because at the end of the day, the most important thing to realize is that there is a reason behind the things that you're doing. You are a brand all on yourself. You're expressing yourself to the entire world. You're projecting an image and a voice to people that might not want to do it themselves. So if you're streaming for 8 hours, maybe cut that down a little bit. Start doing smaller content, start doing things that you can utilize your time properly for, because practice makes perfect. But if you're streaming online for like 8 hours a day, you're not going to see much dividends from that, because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to learn how to do other things. Now, granted, I'm not saying don't stream at all, because right after this video, I'm going to edit it, I'm going to post it, and then I'm going to start streaming myself. But the point is to start doing different things to see what works. Throw that spaghetti noodle into the wall and see if it sticks. And if it doesn't, then leave it in the water for a little longer until it can stick. And then your soup is complete and you can eat it with no issue. That's what you have to start doing. Throw those noodles, man. Some of them are going to fall off the wall, and that's okay. But we have to start taking the passion, the dreams that we want to achieve in our lives a lot more seriously. And if we don't, you have no one to blame but yourself, man. This goes with everything in life. This is not just about streaming. Although it is a primary focus of this video, I always like to sort of inject life lessons and my own lived experiences into these videos that I'm producing. Think about it. This can help you with your day-to-day life. Maybe if you like a girl or a guy and you have difficulty talking to them, the more you practice on doing it, the better you're going to get, right? Same thing with weightlifting. The more weights you lift, your body's going to adapt. Protein synthesis will take place in your body, and it's going to repair the internal structural damage that you did to your body and make it stronger so that you, in turn, can be able to do more. That's the point. You got to build yourself up, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. Now, granted, I do agree that there are people that don't have these opportunities, and that's unfortunate, and I hate it, and it sucks. But if you live in a day and age where you wake up in the morning and the biggest problem that you're facing is, damn, I'm not getting the attention that I want. Come on, man. You're privileged. We're all privileged when it comes to this stuff. We just got to really buckle down and do what we got to do. Take some time and meditate, take a few moments with yourself, talk to friends and family, do whatever it is that you have to do in order to give yourself a better grasp of yourself. Learn thyself, because by learning thyself, you're gonna go further than you ever thought possible. And you know what? Even if you don't get to that percentage where you want to be at, where you're this famous popular streamer, you never know, man. You might have touched someone's life in a way that you yourself are not even aware of. Because us as content creators, it's hard, man. It's hard to sit in front of a camera and produce a video that 1 or 3 people might see, or maybe 1,000 people, or maybe 1,000,000 people will see it. But it's tough work, and it can be demoralizing often because we start to see that this is becoming an issue because we're not getting the dividends that we want to see from it. That doesn't mean you stop. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough about this. I kind of just wanted to talk about this briefly because it's something that I've noticed within myself, and doing these videos are a form of therapy for me too. It helps me see who I am. It helps me see what it is that I want to achieve in this world. And only by me being able to do that and projecting my thoughts onto a screen where you guys can listen to it and hear it, it makes me feel better, and maybe you got some value out of it too. Anyway, the point is, diversify yourself, do a lot more. Even if you're not comfortable doing it, you're never gonna get to where you wanna get unless you take chances. But with that said, if you like the content that I'm providing to you in this video, please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, do the damn thing. And make sure that you hit that bell icon when you subscribe, because if you don't do it, the YouTube gods, they will make sure that you don't get this video. So help me out, just like I want to help you out. And most importantly, let's help each other out and let's stop with the hate. With that said, I've been NeoStarling. You guys and gals are all awesome. And don't ever, ever let anyone tell you different. Signing off.